From the busy streets of London to the winding roads of rural Britain, two buses have quietly shaped modern UK transport. You've seen them in nearly every town and city, and chances are, you've ridden one. I'm talking about the Alexander Dennis Enviro 200 and Enviro 400. But how did they come to dominate the roads? What made them so successful? And why did their production eventually come to an end? Let's dive into the story behind two of the most iconic British buses of the 21st century. To understand where these buses came from, we need to go back to the early 2000s. At the time, the UK bus industry was undergoing a transformation. Operators were demanding cleaner, more reliable, and more accessible vehicles to meet new regulations and the needs of modern passengers. Enter Transbus International, formed from the merger of Walter Alexander, Dennis, and Plaxton. They launched the original Enviro 200 in 2003. But before it could take off, Transbus collapsed, and in 2004, a new company rose from its ashes, Alexander Dennis Limited, or ADL for short. With ADL came a fresh start. They refined the Enviro 200 and, just a year later in 2005, introduced a new double-decker model that would change everything, the Enviro 400. Together, these two buses would become the cornerstone of British public transport for nearly 2 decades. The Enviro 200 was built with versatility in mind. It was a lightweight, low-floor single-decker that could handle the tight turns of city streets and the demands of rural routes. Available in a variety of lengths, ranging from just under 9 meters to nearly 12, it was the perfect all-rounder for operators big and small. Over the years, the design was continuously improved. In 2006, ADL released the second-generation Enviro 200 with better engine options, enhanced accessibility, and improved fuel economy. But it was the 2015 launch of the Enviro 200 MMC, short for Major Model Change, that really took things up a notch. The MMC featured a more modern design, better ride quality, and improved passenger comfort. In total, over 10,000 Enviro 200s were produced before production ended. It was a go-to choice for smaller routes, community transport, and town services across the UK. Operators like Stagecoach, Go Northeast, and Transdev relied heavily on it for their lower demand but high-frequency services. If the Enviro 200 was the compact hero, the Enviro 400 was the king of the road. Introduced in 2005, this low-floor double-decker was designed for high-capacity urban services, and it quickly became the UK's most successful double-decker bus of its era. The Enviro 400 was robust, spacious, and customizable, perfect for everything from short city hops to longer inter-urban routes. It came in diesel, hybrid, and later electric variants, and could be seen everywhere from London to Glasgow. The biggest operator of the Enviro 400? Stagecoach, by far. In fact, Stagecoach helped launch the first models and eventually operated thousands of them across its national network. Other major operators like Arriva, First Group, and Go Ahead also ran large fleets, especially in London where the Enviro 400 became a staple of the Red Bus network. Over 11,000 units were produced, and the Enviro 400 went through several upgrades, most notably the Enviro 400 MMC in 2014, which introduced a sleeker front-end design, upgraded interiors, better driver ergonomics, and improved aerodynamics. So what's the legacy of the Enviro 200 and Enviro 400? Well, these buses weren't flashy. They weren't groundbreaking in the way a Tesla or a high-speed train might be. But they showed up every single day, rain or shine, rush hour or quiet nights. They took millions of people to work, school, hospital appointments, nights out, holidays, you name it. They were the backbone of modern British bus travel for nearly 20 years. And while their production might have stopped, they're still out there, running local routes, carrying people across towns, and clocking up the miles. Some will be in service for years to come. They might not turn heads, but they sure turned wheels. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the history of two of the UK's most iconic buses. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below with your favorite memory of riding an Enviro.